Lincoln Park is amazing. The consistency of being one of Chicago's most popular neighborhoods. I've been in Lincoln Park since since about 1980. Grew up in Lincoln Park to a large degree. Spent a lot of time there, and then I've been there for 33 years selling homes in Lincoln Park as one of the top agents in Lincoln Park. It is the first area that people always mention when they're moving to Chicago or have a friend moving to Chicago. They say, everyone says to live in Lincoln Park. I would say 90% of the time, if somebody's totally fresh to Chicago, that's what they say, because Lincoln Park has many good schools, excellent schools in Lincoln Park and in the surrounding areas around Lincoln Park. There's DePaul Prep, which is very close by. A lot of people from DePaul University send their children there. A lot of the leaders of the school, and Lincoln Park High School, St. Clement's, St. Ignatius High School, all very either in Lincoln Park or close by. So people really, really like Lincoln Park for the proximity to the lake. You can walk to the lake from anywhere in Lincoln Park. Some places are closer than others, obviously. You can get to the train in multiple locations. You can bike ride on the lakefront path. You can go swimming. You can go to the beach. You can go to huge parks. These are all things in Lincoln Park. However, Lincoln Park is not that big. If you go from the southern to the north boundary, it's only 1.5 miles. So, I mean, we're talking city living here. The neighborhoods change in a short space, and, 1.5 miles from north to south. And then if you go from the lake out away from the lake, it's really, depending on, what your boundary of Lincoln Park is, it's really only about 1.5 miles or a little bit more. So say 1.5 miles by 1.5 miles is the majority of Lincoln Park. Single family homes in Lincoln Park have skyrocketed in value since COVID because of all the changes in the city. A lot of people moving to the suburbs. You would think that Lincoln Park would have suffered, or there have been a downturn, but really there has not been at all a downturn in Lincoln Park. Quite the contrary, the single family home values have gone up. So if you bought a house for new construction, they were going for 3.4 million. Those are all around 4 million now, and that's just a matter of 4 or 5 years. So they're going up significantly. There's some new people that I've had quite a few clients move to Lincoln Park that I've helped buy new construction and other homes, and they're very happy there. But I've seen others who I haven't represented, notable people moving to Lincoln Park, and they're just happy as can be, paying $4.5 million for a new single family home. Lincoln Park has a ton of rental options. You can rent a condo, you can rent an apartment. So there's always a huge crowd of post-grad new workers coming to Chicago that want to live in Lincoln Park or Lakeview. So Lincoln Park has a very eclectic not really eclectic, but has a lot of different types of people living there, all age groups, coming out of school to people that are very far along in their career, that own the larger homes typically. And then in the middle you have a lot of condos. So there's a lot of high rises, there's some newer high rises, and there's some classic high rises that have been there forever and are always very well taken care of, and very well funded, have great reserves, are well kept. Some very good high rises in Lincoln Park. It's really hard to find a bad building as far as high rises go. There's also a lot of vintage buildings. Some of them have real issues with parking because Lincoln Park's pretty tight and the parking's expensive. But there's a lot of different types of options in Lincoln Park. So you have the zoo, and you have some beautiful skyline views from Lincoln Park. You can walk downtown to Michigan Avenue. You can walk to Wrigley Field. You can bike to either location very easily. So Lincoln Park is one of my favorite and neighborhoods in Chicago for fun, housing, proximity to so many great areas, and you can get to the expressway very easily. There's been a lot of professional athletes that I've represented that have moved to Lincoln Park, either in rentals or purchasing a home or condo. And over the years, I've sold many, many hundreds of homes and condos in Lincoln Park. So if you need help in Lincoln Park, just call, text, email. Even if you just have a question and you're like not even sure if you're moving here, happy to help. Just call, reach out. And I have a little friend here today. Sully, you like Lincoln Park? So just call if you need me.